Hello, my name is Pieter. I'm studying business engineering here at KU Leuven. And last year I went on an exchange to Gothenburg, Sweden, and I studied at the Handelshögskolan in Gothenburg. I've always been fascinated by Nordic countries, like most specifically Scandinavia, because of their good quality of life and their organization, and also the nature and how I perceived the country was always very positive. So that's why I applied for some universities in the Scandinavian region. Swedish is actually not a very difficult language to read as a Dutch speaker, but it's pretty hard to hear what the locals are saying because they make a lot of connections between their words, which makes it nearly impossible to understand what they're saying. But if you're reading anything, like when you're waiting for the tram or something, it's pretty easy to understand, okay, this is the destination of the tram, or if you're at a restaurant, you can always make up more or less what's stated there in Swedish. The Swedish people are among the best non-English speaking English speakers, if you can follow what I say. So basically everyone speaks perfectly English, so it's very easy to communicate with people on public transport or like anywhere on the street. If you don't know the directions or anything, they can always help you, and they speak very good English. In general, the level was more or less the same. It depends there are always more difficult topics, and as you're going on an exchange, it might be pretty hard to find perfectly matching courses with what you're studying here. But in general, I don't think the courses are much more difficult. The level is kind of the same. I guess the teaching was pretty similar. The groups are way smaller than what we're used to. As I'm studying business engineering, in the first couple of years, we were with nearly 400 or 500 people in the auditorium, whereas now we were groups of 30, maybe 40 people, but that's really the upper limit. I was kind of lucky. Like I got housing from university. At first, I didn't get one, but in the second round, I found housing from the university, which was pretty good because other people that I met there who had to go and find private accommodation, and they had some difficulty finding it, and it was also much further from the city center and from the campus. I was pretty happy. Yeah. It depends, because there are accommodations that are quite far from public transport and stuff, but mine had a tram stop right across the streets, which provided me with the possibility to reach the campus in like 15 minutes, which is pretty good for a city as Gothenburg, because it's kind of the size of Antwerp, I guess, but much more like widely spread. So I think that's a good amount of time to reach the campus, 15 minutes by tram, and the trams and trains rides pretty often, so it was good. I guess I would choose it again. I've had a lovely time, and also for a first exchange experience, it's pretty good because the Swedish people, they arrange a lot for you, whereas I learned from other friends who went more southwards, where you had to arrange more things yourself. Whereas here, like, you arrive at the airport during the welcome weeks, they have organized a bus transfer from the airport to the city center. They have buddies that come and pick you up with the keys of your apartment or your room. They show you where it is. They show you where the nearest supermarket is. So it's super easy to settle in there. What was the best thing? It's a good question. Actually, it was all so good. I guess probably the new experience of like trying to settle in a new environment making new friends, being more responsible for yourself. You don't have mommy's help anymore, like for laundry and stuff. So, and then of course all the friends you make and the amazing experiences you have. Maybe like the party life was, for people that study here in Leuven, kind of disappointing. If you're used to places as the Old Market and Fagbars, then in Sweden or in Gothenburg in particular, you don't have as many possibilities, but I've never missed it because there were so many other things to do. So it's not really like the worst part of my experience, of my exchange there. If I would have to describe my exchange in 3 words, I guess I would say it was very enriching because you meet people with so many different backgrounds from different cultures, with different languages, which is very, very nice. It was very renewing, or like you have to be responsible for yourself. You have to do your own laundry, and you don't have your parents or like any close family where you can rely on anymore. And third one, it was just so much fun because you have the possibility to discover a new country, like experience a local culture with friends you make there from all over the globe. So it was really fun. I guess I would want to know how much fun it was, because in the beginning, or like how much fun it would be. In the beginning, I had some doubts because it's kind of a big step for many of us, because you leave all your friends, your family, and you go there on your own. But if I had known that it was so easy to meet new people and to settle in, then I wouldn't have had any stress or anxiety issues, if you would like to call it that way. Any tips for people who want to go to Gothenburg on an exchange? I guess try to get your hands on accommodation from the university. It's not really in your own hands, but I hope you will, because it's much easier if you find accommodation that way than if you have to go and look for it yourself. Go through the courses that they offer and try to arrange it up front. Because I had some difficulties with how the courses were matched with my courses here at KU Leuven, which caused some stress because of the deadlines there, and then I had to file everything again. So try to do that before you arrive on your exchange. And thirdly, be social. Try to make as many friends as possible during the introduction weeks that the university offers. What you should not forget to pack is like a warm coat, because in Sweden it can be pretty cold. But on the other hand, on the side where I've been studying in Gothenburg, it's actually not that much difference as we have here in Belgium, because of like the sea that is very close. It's not really cold, but if you want to go on trips to Norway or the north of Sweden, you should definitely pack warm clothes. And then particular for Gothenburg is a raincoat and an umbrella, because apparently it's the rainiest city in whole of Europe, or the second rainiest city in whole of Europe. The fact that it's a very central city to discover the whole of Sweden and also the neighboring countries, it's pretty easy to visit the 3 capitals, because you're in 2 hours, you're in Oslo. In 3 hours or 4 hours, you're in Copenhagen, and it takes 4 or 5 hours with the train to Stockholm, which is pretty limited in this region, because the distances are very large, and also the possibility to discover the whole of Sweden is very unique. So here's my textbook from like what I studied in Sweden. It's kind of the same as what you would have had in like your first years when you were your first language courses in French or anything, but now you can start to study it in Swedish. And this is some kind of like memory we had from our friend group. It's a map of Gothenburg, and on the last night we were there, everyone wrote down like a small text of how we met or what our best experience were together. And this is hanging very proudly above my bed.